Before I start to share my story, I want to recite a poem that I wrote in the middle of the night last night, which really shows everything that I'm feeling right now, and it's a part of my healing process as writing. So. The guilt of feeling grateful to be alive is heavy. Wanting to smile about surviving but not sure the people around you are ready. As the world mourns, the victims killed and viciously slain, I feel guilty about screaming about my legs in pain because I could feel nothing, like the other 49 who weren't so lucky to feel this pain of mine. I never thought in a million years that this could happen. I never thought in a million years that my eyes could witness something so tragic. Looking at the souls leaving the bodies of individuals, looking at the killer's machine gun throughout my right peripheral, looking at the blood and debris covered on everyone's faces, looking at the gunman's feet under the stall as he paces. The guilt of feeling lucky to be alive is heavy. It's like the weight of the ocean's walls crushing uncontrolled by levees. It's like being drugged through the grass with a shattered leg and thrown on the back of a Chevy. It's like being rushed to the hospital and told you're going to make it. When you lay beside individuals whose lives were brutally taken. The guilt of being alive is heavy. How did me and my friends end up at Pulse nightclub? Well, we just got to Orlando, Florida from Philadelphia the night before. So we just got there. This is my first time ever being in Florida, first time ever being in Orlando, first time ever being at Pulse nightclub. How did we even get there? Akira, who unfortunately is no longer here, Googled maps like popular clubs in Orlando, and Pulse was the first one to come up. I had like 5 stars, and we were so excited. We were extremely excited, and so her mom and her dad drove us there, and we actually reached Pulse nightclub outside of it around 11:50, but because we need to go get changed to get inside, we walked over to 7-Eleven together. So by the time we got to Pulse nightclub, it was probably a little after 12. So, and at the door they checked our IDs to make sure we were over 18. But the sweetest face greeted me right before I paid my $10. Her name was Amanda. She was one of the victims who unfortunately did not make it. She had glasses and her bang. I told her that her shoes were the cutest I've ever seen. She let me be her +1, so I didn't have to pay. So when we entered together, Amanda, Akira, and Tierra Parker, who's my best friend, we were all having a good time for a short period of time before Amanda actually disappeared. We didn't remember what happened to her. She said she was going going to the bathroom because there are three parts of Pulse nightclub, as you all know now. There's a patio that's outside, there's a middle section, and there's an indoor, another indoor part where most of the live entertainment takes place back there. And at first when we got in, we were hanging out in the middle section with Amanda. And then she went to the bathroom. We waited for a while, but we realized she didn't come back, so we decided to go to the bathroom too, because we had to go to the bathroom, and we didn't see her in there, so we just decided to go in the indoor part after that, like the back indoor part where the rest of the live entertainment was taking place. And we stayed there the rest of the night until the gunshots started, and we were having the time of our lives. Akira was the life of the party, literally, and everybody loved her. Everyone just adored her. Tia Parker, who's her cousin, like we were just all having like the night that we dreamed of going out. Like literally, it was the best. It was the most beautiful bonding experience like any three girls could have on their first night out on vacation. And it wasn't until about 1:58 when I looked at Akira's phone and I turned to Tia. I said, "So how are we getting home?" Tia told me, "Oh, we're going to get an Uber." So she started to order the Uber. And a few seconds from her ordering the Uber and me asking that question, that's when we started hearing the gunshots going off in the middle section where we had left from. At first we didn't know that there were gunshots. I didn't know. I was so confused. I was like, wow. A club would do all this just to get people to leave their club. Like they would have like BB guns. I thought it was a BB gun at first, like, or the DJ playing some sort of like sound of gunshots. I didn't think they were actually real gunshots, but the fear of it, the fear inside me made me drop to the floor anyway. So I'm like scrambling on the floor. Tierra and Kiera run towards the bar, and I'm scooting backwards, not realizing that I'm about to go out the door, and it was actually the exit there. And I saw Kiera get up and run over to me, and I look up and we're actually outside. Me and Kiera actually made it outside while the gunshots were still going on. And I said, "Well, where's Tierra? Where's Tierra?" So, and the part of the poem where I feel so guilty about surviving is because if I would have told Akira to stay outside and just wait, and I'll try to go back and get Tierra because she didn't make it. Me and Tierra did make it, and I feel really guilty about that. And I was speaking to her mom, and she told me not to feel guilty. You know, God has His plan, but I told her, let's go get Tierra. We gotta get Tierra. So when we went inside, we got trapped in there. So we saw Tierra, but everybody was rushing into the bathroom stall. Everyone was rushing into the bathroom stall. The gunshots were still going off rapidly, and it's still not real to me yet. It's still not real to me. I'm just like, why are they doing all of this? And I was even Snapchatting in the bathroom stall once we got in there. We ran into the bathroom. Me, Tierra, and Akira were like actually the last ones to actually get into the bathroom stall, the handicap one, the biggest one, and the guy who was an African American male who ended up closing and locking the door, who I believe got shot from doing that in the process. And the gunman entered the bathroom and was shooting his machine gun. So we're all like scrambling around in the bathroom, screaming at the top of our lungs when he was in there for the first time, and then you know, people were getting hit by bullets, like blood is everywhere, and then there was the moment where he stopped shooting in the bathroom, and that's when everyone looked around, and that's when I first realized that my leg was shot. There were several other people shot and bleeding in the bathroom. That's when Akira, who didn't make it, realized she was shot in her arm, and I'm not sure if that was when Tierra also got shot in her side, but we were all pretty bad, and at that point we knew that this wasn't a game. This was very real, and this is something that was really happening to us right now. And it was shock. We just went from having the time of our lives to the worst night of our lives, all within a matter of minutes. So the gunman had stopped shooting for a while. I don't know where he went, but I was lying on the bathroom floor. I was right underneath the stall wall, so the stall wall was like right above my face, because I was trying to get most of my body into the second stall, because there was like a lot of people, and my leg was injured at the time. Like, I got shot in my leg, and it was actually pinned under the person who was laying right next to me. So it was very painful, and we laid there for hours and hours, hoping that someone came and got us, and hoping that the police would come through at that point in time and just like save us all. But throughout that period of hours, the gunman was in there with us, and he actually made a call to 911 from it, and everybody could hear who's in the bathroom who survived, could hear him talking to 911, saying that the reason why he's doing this is because he wants America to stop bombing his country. And from that conversation, from 911, he pledged his allegiance to ISIS, and he started speaking, and I believe after he got off the phone with 911, he started speaking in Arabic. And now that I know to be Arabic, at first I didn't know like what the language was. And after that, he even spoke to us directly in the bathroom. He said, "Are there any black people in here?" I was too afraid to answer, but there was an African American male in this stall where most of my body was, majority of my body was, had answered, and he said, "Yes, there are about 6 or 7 of us." And the gunman responded back to him saying that, "You know, I don't have a problem with black people. This is about my country. You guys suffered enough." And he made a statement saying that it wasn't about black people. This isn't the reason why he was doing this. But through the conversation with 911, he said that the reason why he was doing this is because he wanted America to stop bombing his country. So the motive was very clear to us who were laying in our own blood and other people's blood, who were injured, who were shot, that we knew what his motive was, and he wasn't going to stop killing people until he was killed, until he felt like his message got out there. And he made several other comments, like while we were in the bathroom, and just quickly to retract for a second, when he first came in the bathroom, there were like pellets. It felt like BB gun pellets. Is what I gave me the impression that it was a BB gun. It's because there were wall fragments hitting my legs, but that was really just the machine gun that he had blaring around the entire room, and it actually got jammed. He was like, damn, like a jam. So with my face under the stall, looking, I could see him put down his machine gun, and tried to, and you could hear him trying to click and fix his handgun. So time goes on, and people's phones are going off. People are obviously calling, and it was actually before he came back in. You know, Kira was on her phone talking to her mom, asking. That's when everybody was asking for people to come and get us and help, and come and save us basically. And people on the phone were 911. But when he came back into the bathroom after that first round of machine gun shots went off, that's when he wanted everybody to get off their phones. He didn't want to hear anybody on their phones. He didn't want to hear any text message sounds. He didn't want to hear any phones ringing. So every time a phone rung, or every time a text message went off, he would say, "Where is it? Where is it? Give it up! Give it up! Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" And there was the point in time where there was somebody's phone that was going off. It wasn't even inside the stall. It wasn't even inside the stall. The phone was outside, and because he was still saying, "Where is it? Give it up! Give it up! Give it up!" I just tossed my phone out because I didn't even. Nobody was responding, so we're assuming that the person whose phone it was either already shot it dead, or they just didn't know that it was their phone that was outside of the stall. But the last shots that went off that he did inside the bathroom while we were held hostage was right before the police bust through our bathroom that we were inside of. So there were like three explosive sounds that went off right before the police actually rescued us from inside the bathroom. And at first we thought that they were the other gunmen that he's communicating with that were exploding themselves, because it was a point in time in the bathroom after the phone call he made with 911, and I believe after his statement that he made about like not having a problem with black people, but it being for his country, it sounded as if he was communicating with other people who were involved with it. He made a statement that if the police come in, they're gonna attack, but it's okay, we got the snipers outside. Whoever he spoke to, and some police officers, maybe he was just deranged, maybe he was talking to himself. But I honestly feel like I don't think he was able to pull that off all by himself, that one man all by himself. And because he said it out of his face that he had snipers outside, and the first shots that you heard, there were so many shots going off, that's why it sounded like it was a part of the music. Couldn't believe that this was actually gunshots happening, so many at one time. So right before the wall, like right before the SWAT or the PD bust through the wall, he actually started backing into the bathroom stall itself. That myself, Tierra Parker, and Akira, who didn't make it, was inside of, and I could see his feet like scooting back as he heard the police outside. And the last thing that I heard before the police said, move away from the walls, because obviously they were about to bust through again. He said, "Hey you," to someone on the floor inside the bathroom, and shot another person, and then shot another person who happened to be directly behind me, who I'm told through the eyes of Tierra that shielded me with their own body to make sure that I wasn't hit. So, and I don't know who that person is. I don't know the name of that person, but if they're somewhere watching from, thank you for saving my life, literally. If it wasn't for that person shielding me, it would have been me shot, and I wouldn't be sitting here today to talk about it. So after he left off, rang off those last three shots, "Hey you, bow, bow, bow." They bust through the wall, and they started engaging in gunfire after they told him, put your weapon down. He didn't, so they engaged in gunfire. They got him, they shot him dead. And from that point, because the wall had exploded the pipes, there was water starting to rise. So I was getting really scared because I was thinking like, if they don't get to me soon or something, I might drown sitting here in this water, this pile of bloody water. But I was able to get the debris off my face, and I was able to push myself from underneath the stall wall and come on the other side where the handicap bathroom was, where the handicap stall was, and I was able to sit up and pull my leg from underneath the person who just was killed beside me. And I was asking Tiara Parker, I said, Tiara, are you shot? And she said, yeah, she got shot in her side. I said, what's wrong with Kiara? What's wrong with Kiara? Kiara was laying over Tiara's lap, lifeless, but according to the African American male who was luckily unharmed, who was not shot at all, he checked Kiara's pulse at the time and said that she still had the pulse, she's still breathing. So that was the last thing Tiara basically said to me, like, she's breathing. So when the SWAT member started coming in, we told them, like, beware, like, there's snipers outside. He said there's snipers outside, and they were asking us, well, they need more bombers inside. We're like, no, it's just us. Like, he was the last one. So we were all raising our hands up, and the SWAT team member picked me up. I put most of my weight on him to try to keep the weight off of my leg, and I actually saw Akira's phone right before I got out the wall, and I picked it up because I truly believed, like, after I was told she was breathing, that her pulse was still going, that I would be able to get that phone back to her. Once we got back into the hospital, so they pulled me out the wall. I couldn't walk, so the SWAT team member had to drag me by my arms through the grass with my leg. It's pretty bad, but they were able to get it back together. The bullet had shattered my femur bone in my right leg, and the bullet had went through my left leg. So I didn't even know I was shot in my left leg until they cut my clothes off in the ambulance and told me, like, you have another bullet wound under your left thigh. I'm feeling really. It feels like a fantasy right now, like a dream. So the only thing that reminds me that it's real is the pain in my leg. But I'm happy. I am happy. Today is going to be like the most exciting day I could ever imagine. It's like I've never thought in a million years that I would get to meet the President of the United States. It's like a roller coaster. It's like my emotions will go up and down. It's similar to the pain in my leg. Like between a 1 to 10, it might be a 4 one day, and then the next day it might be like a 10 is the most like extreme pain I could possibly feel. But after the conference, I definitely opened myself up, and I wanted to be vulnerable. And I want people to just know that this is like a real situation. It's not fake. It's not staged. This is actually people who died, who were hurt, who were killed, who were going to be traumatized forever. It was hurtful to see that some people were making it seem as if I was lying. It felt so horrible because I opened myself up literally to the world, hoping that I could find support. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.